Hey, how you doing today? I am Taquila Coleman. In today's video, we're going to talk about entertaining a counterfeit. Now, let me just say, because I have done several videos on this in the past where, we already know God want us to be loyal. God doesn't want us to entertain no counterfeit, right? We already know this. However, when you are standing for a God ordained marriage promise, right, the stance and what's coming your way, the things that you are seeing, right, how your future spouse is responding to you, these are the things that can cause an individual to say, you know what, I don't even want this anymore. These are the things that can cause you to be like, I don't care about this anymore. I'm moving on. I'm very attractive person. I have all of the great qualities. Any person would want to date me, right? The things that we go through in this stance would cause us to think this way, right? And it's true. Like, you are attractive individual. You have great quality, right? And every time you go out, right? You can attract, okay, the opposite sex to you, right? And so, what do you do when you find yourself in this battle where you want to be obedient to the Lord? However, you're looking at this love story and you like, I'm losing attraction for this person. The person's starting to get on my nerves. I'm starting, to not care about this. I'm not even praying like how I should pray. I'm starting to lose hope in this thing. So let's talk about it, okay? Here's the thing. Because God already know you're going to go through all of that, right? But I need you to understand, okay? I need you to understand, right? That because sometimes we would have one foot in, one foot out. Sometimes we'll be like, I'm doing me, but then in the back of our mind, still be like, okay, what I'm, the devil will try to convince us into thinking we can still do us, entertain counterfeits, just live how we want to live, but also, okay, I'm gonna pray here and there, for my person, and when it's time, God is gonna reconcile me. No, that's not how it works. Okay, I need you to understand this, and we got to expose the tricks of the enemy. Okay, that's not how it works. All right, because counterfeits comes to distract, deter, and block. Say it with me. Counterfeits comes to distract, deter, and block. Okay, that's the whole purpose of a counterfeit, is to just keep you distracted, right? Is to deter you from your God ordained path, right? God ordained path, and to block the connection, block, okay, the progress, block you from moving forward. Okay. Now you can go into this, right? You can go into this and you can tell yourself, I'm not going to date no counterfeit. We're not going to, roll over to fornicate. I just want to hang out with the opposite sex. You can tell yourself all of these things, okay? But scripture say there is a way that seems right to man, but in the end it leads to death. Okay. We can say that. We can say, I'm not going to do X, Y, and Z. I used to say I want to be around some masculine energy. I used to say that a couple of years ago. However, me being around masculine energy got me 3 children. Okay. You see how that worked? So we can tell ourselves these things. However, when you put yourself in these counterfeit situations, you are now opening up that door to the enemy. You open up the door to distraction. So you inviting in, come on in here and distract me, enemy. Keep me distracted. Keep me off my prayer post. Keep me delaying my God ordained marriage promise. Keep me, in this cycle of getting the same result but with a new face. Okay? When we open up that door to the enemy, you basically telling the enemy, come on in here and block this love story for me. Mm-hmm. Come on in here and play mind games with me, right? Come on in here and confuse me. Because again, you can take the mindset and say, I'm not going to date this person. I'm not going to have sex with this person. However, when you get around the individual, when you get around the counterfeit and they start talking how you want them to talk, they start treating you how you want your prodigal to treat you, and they saying all the right things, massaging them ears. Oh my God, you don't know what you gonna do in that moment. Now you questioning God. God, did I hear you right? Maybe this is my God ordained spouse. Maybe this is it. right? And you see, now we got confusion. You see, we just now we're dealing with confusion. Now we're dealing with doubt. Now we second guess what God said. Now, so why even open up the door to all of that? Why? Why open up the door to all of that? Right? And then I need you to think about this because I'm giving you stuff to think about. Okay. I want you to ask yourself, do you really believe that God is going to release your spouse to you knowing you are on a date with a counterfeit? Do you believe that God is going to release your spouse to you knowing that you still answering counterfeits phone calls? You still hanging out with your male friends, your male female friends. I say your male female friends. You still hanging out with your female friends, right? Or your male friends. Y'all just kicking it. Do you really think God is going to release your spouse when it's time for reconciliation? No. God is going to look at that and he's going to deal with you. And he's going to tell you, let it go. If you want this, God ordained, you got to let that go. And you have to now practice self control and discipline. You have to, learn how to be alone with yourself. You have to learn how to, meet your own needs, how to fill yourself up, how to bring happiness and joy into your own life without a counterfeit doing it. That's what's going to happen. Okay. So what I'm getting at in this video, I understand in this stance. You get frustrated. You're like, I don't care about this anymore. I don't even want this person. I understand you may even lose attraction for this individual, right? And you may just get frustrated to the point of where you're like, why I have to be the one who's over here being obedient, holy, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost, right? Why I have to be this one doing all this work while my prodigal out here wilding out with counterfeits, enjoying their life, living their best life. Why I have to be the one over here just living a boring life? It's not about that. And we got to begin to understand, okay? We have to have the right perspective in this God ordained marriage stand. We have to take God's thoughts. Why is God requiring or even instructing me to be loyal? Why? Because it's all about closing the doors to the enemy. It's all about getting you prepared for the very thing you don't even know that God is about to bring you into. See, your mind is focused on marriage, but God trying to prepare you for the calling that's on your life. He's trying to prepare you for that promised land. He's trying to, prepare you for these attacks that's going to hit your marriage when the two of you say I do. But you can't move into a level of preparation when you being distracted by a counterfeit. So again, the Lord understand how you feel. But you got to begin to help yourself to see, what is God doing? Why is God requiring this for me? Why is he instructing me to, be loyal and just say hi and bye to these counterfeits? That's it. Why is that? Why is God having me, to live out, this holiness, this purity? Why is he requiring so much from me? It must be a heavy calling that's on my life. He must be preparing me for something bigger than this marriage. That's how you have to start thinking. Our mindset, it has to shift while we are standing for the God ordained marriage. Okay. I always say it's more than marriage that you're standing for. Okay. So I'm not going to tell you, okay, because y'all have heard me preach this. I'm not going to tell you if you can go ahead and entertain a counterfeit or not. I'm here to bring understanding and clarity. It is up to you to decide whether or not you want to entertain a counterfeit or not. Okay. And depending on your answer, okay, you know, depending on whatever answer you decide to take, or whichever path you decide to take, God, I leave it up to the Lord. He will bring the correction if he chooses to correct you. If not, then he gonna let you go ahead and walk out your will. Okay. But I'm just here to bring the clarity, the understanding, and I'm also here to help expose the enemy because again, the enemy will guide your eyes and your emotions to the negative. The enemy will tell you you attractive. You don't got to do all of that. You could pull anyone. The enemy will tell you all of that, right? Because the enemy don't want you coming into your God ordained destiny. The enemy want you to miss it. The enemy want to keep you distracted. The enemy, want you to stay in this cycle of rejection. The enemy want you to never break these spirit spouses off of your life, and connect you with a counterfeit and have you now thinking the counterfeit is your God ordained. The devil is a lie, right? So I'm here to expose the tricks of the enemy and to help you to think outside the box, to help you to, see the bigger picture in this whole thing. Okay. So replay this back and make sure you understand what I'm saying in this video because God will never release his God ordained future husband or wife he has for you, and you still got some counterfeits, just laying around in the picture. Okay, I'm not saying like they ain't laying around your bed, but they just still, hanging out in your life in the picture. No, the same way how God is stripping us and removing us from certain relationships he never ordained to be in our life. He doing the same thing with the prodigal. Many of you are getting frustrated because you still see that counterfeit in the picture. Well, you have to be patient with God and allow God to, do this removal in his time. Okay. We got to also remember, while we're standing and we going through what we're going through, he's doing a new thing in you. You can't see it right now, but you will see it 6 months to a year later. You will begin to, when God make you aware of it, you're going to be like, oh my God, now I understand why you took me through that. Now I understand why you were requiring this from me, Lord. Now I see it. Okay. So that is it. I am Tequila Coleman. I'll talk to you real soon. Take care.